guys have any questions about anything, if you want to drop your question in the chat, that would be great. We can cover literally anything. So if you want to cover the anything with regard to the software, anything with regard to marketing or leads, generating new business, any questions, we're here for you. So happy to answer. So I've already asked something about Twilio on the page. Xavier, Twilio, let's talk about it. What are you looking to do, and how can we help? Might have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Well, my main trouble is making it work inside of Funnelbolt. I find very awesome the fact that we can send text messages and voice with Twilio, but I'm not able to make it work with your program. I don't know if there is something with Funnelbolt. It's something about Twilio. I suppose it's because of Twilio, but also I would like to know if there is any possibility to for you to adjust and make the program work instead of with text messages with WhatsApp, because I have seen in the Twilio page there is this possibility.
Okay, yeah. So the what country are you out of? Where are you from?
From Spain.
Spain. Okay. So I think, and I could be wrong, but was there a prompt to fill out any information about your business or anything with Spain in Twilio, like as far as having the forwarding number?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Okay. Do you have an existing Twilio account?
A free account.
You have a free account.
I suppose I should upgrade and pay at least the minimum fee of $20 to progress. But I would like to know if there is the possibility to make it work with being here in Spain.
Yeah. So we do have others in Spain, so I know it does work. Twilio is going to cost you, I think it's like $1 a month per number. And then they just charge whatever data you send is what they charge. And it's going to be, it's like a fraction of a penny. I want to say it's like 1/3 of a cent per text. So if you go ahead and get that set up, there may be a few things with, depending on what country you're in, they may request like some information about your business. Like basically they just want to know that like you're legit. And so sometimes it's like an address or some type of confirmation that you are who you say you are.
Okay.
And they will issue that number. Sometimes it takes like 24 to 36 hours for them to issue the number. And then all you need to do is go into our system. I'm going to share my screen here for a second. All you need to do is go into, do you see my screen? Oh, here's my text.
Yeah, sure.
So if you go into your settings and go to your Twilio settings, you basically just plug in your Twilio account, and that's assuming you have more than the free account. Plug in your Twilio settings and the authorization token, and it'll pull everything in.
Okay.
And once you have that, you plug in whatever number you want so this is going to be like any responses that are coming in are going to be sent to this number. And you can format the number right here. So whatever format Spain uses for your phone number, you can do that right here.
But it is going to be a Spanish number. I mean, it's not from Switzerland, from France, or from the United States.
Yeah, so you can select the country right here. So once you hit that, and I don't have a number in here.
Okay.
You just enter it in here and go from there, and then your preferred area code. And
Okay.
then it'll go through, it'll API through to your Twilio account and get all that stuff set up for you. So
Okay.
once you set up your account, so the way that we had our system set up before was you basically just come in and it's ready to use. But we had to get away from that because it costs you more money, number one. And number two, like there's just a lot of different loopholes to jump through. And so having you set up your Twilio account and bringing that into our system is the best way to do it. So that's how that works.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jordan.
You're welcome. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Awesome. So anyone else, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. We have quite a few people in here today, which is awesome. Angel just came in. He's in a new place today.
What's going on, everybody?
New background. So.
What's going on, everybody? Everybody awake in here or what?
I don't think anybody's
sleeping.
awake.
I think everybody's sleeping. If you guys have your cameras working, right? It would be cool if you guys could turn it on so we could put, there they go. Sam, man, I always got to ask you to turn your camera on, man. Sam, the second I say it, bam, he flips his camera on.
Sam's in a new place too, I think.
Sam's in his office.
New camera.
So there's a lot of people on here that I haven't actually met, as well as Jordan, because you guys, it's the first time a lot of you guys have jumped on this call. So I'm super excited that you guys are all here. Real quick, give me a little background about you guys. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what industry you guys are in and how do you guys plan on using Funnelball. I know I've spoken to a few of you guys like Scott and Sam. Xavier, I don't think we've ever spoken before, but nice to meet you, brother. Stephanie, nice to meet you. I love the background you got going on there. And there's a lot of people on here that I actually haven't met. So go into the chat and tell me what industry you guys are in. And the second question is, how do you guys plan on using Funnelbolt, and how do you plan on like integrating that within your business? So that way we can have some type of a case study that we can kind of just work off of, so we can give everybody ideas here on this call, so that everyone can get, just their brain moving on how they can get this and implement this in their business to get a lot of production out of their current pipelines that you guys have. So Xavier says affiliate marketing. Cool. So, I'm assuming you're going to use this for like, proposing different offers over time, right? You're just going to keep pushing different offers through email and things like that, right? Awesome. Were you able to integrate everything and figure things out and kind of wrap your head around how you were going to set this up for your business, or getting there?
So we've had, so Sam was asking me about setting up client accounts for your affiliates, right? Pretty much.
So he's saying,
or not
have their own
Sam,
number.
sorry, Xavier was asking me. Sam is asking about numbers for each client.
Okay.
And so, yeah, each client that you have can have a different number. So you just hit add client. It's going to add a new client. And you're going to set up their phone and all that kind of stuff. And then each one is going to have their own settings tab, just like this, and their own authorization key, just like this. So that way you can segment literally everything. Does that make sense? 51c3.
Sweet. So Xavier using it for affiliate marketing. We talked about that. Arifa's using it. Is it Arifa or Refa? I hope I'm saying that right. And apologize if I'm not saying it correctly. Staffing and offshoring. Okay, I like this niche. So if you want to unmute yourself, Arifa, that'd be awesome. So we can kind of talk a little bit about kind of how you do things. So I'm assuming, so you're getting people that are looking for different opportunities and you're bringing them on board. And then I'm assuming you're going through some type of interview process. And within that process, you're probably sending them things back and forth. Is that right? Or correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, basically. So so what I do is I provide staffing, outsource of staff, offshoring of staffing. So
Okay.
basically tech talent, and we do remote interns. But this talent, the remote intern, they work remotely out of Africa. I work out of the UK, but my my candidates, or yeah, they're mostly Nigerian. Most of our clients are based in the UK and in the US. So we
Awesome.
offshore. Yeah.
So
it's really
and then you're using this tool to like follow up with those
to new clients, get clients, get more leads for clients. Yes, yeah. No, we have we've got our software for recruitment and handling candidate, but this is supposed to be used for clients. So clients, yeah.
Gotcha. So more of like the client management side of like you know, keeping them up to date with certain things and things of that nature. So you're creating campaigns kind of revolving around a combination of email and even text as well?
No, I haven't started. That's what I would like to use it for. I have the software, so I want to start using it for that, yeah.
Heck yeah. So, I mean, anybody listening to this, I mean, this is a perfect example on how you can use it, whether it's for, you know, following up with your lead gen, or you know, you've already gotten people opting into whatever your offer is, to use it as a nurturing, you know, system, right? That you don't have to physically, you know, every new person that comes through your pipeline, you already have a preset, possibly 30, 60, 90-day sequence that you can just plug them right into. And, you know, they're going to get a ton of value over 90 days and you don't even have to lift a finger. You only have to lift a finger to initially just kind of set everything up. But even then, you can even pay somebody to do all that stuff for you. So, I mean, it really is up to you how much time commitment you want to commit to actually like building your business. But initially though, it'd be good for you guys to kind of just get a hang of it, create a very simple campaign, like a very simple, you know, follow-up campaign. And if you just go, Jordan, over to campaigns real quick, let's just show them a little bit about a campaign. But, you know, it's as simple as just coming in here. That's a 6-month nurture sequence in there, but this is just to create a new campaign here. It's as simple as coming in here. You name the campaign. If it's a nurture sequence, name it nurture. So you want to always title the campaign the intention of the campaign, so you have it organized and you know when to trigger what. So if this is a nurture 90-day sequence, you know, here you have the option of choosing, you know, what days of the week you want it to trigger. If I'm doing this as a nurture sequence, I want it to trigger every day of the week, because if they come in on a Sunday, I don't have to do a thing. They just get the email and they start getting value on a Sunday or on a Monday, or it really doesn't matter the day of the week, right? And so in this case, if it's a nurture sequence, right, what I would not do is actually leave this toggle on where it says auto stop when someone responds. And the reason for that is because I don't care whether someone responds to my nurture sequence or not. I just care that they get it, right? Because the average human being needs to consume about 7 hours of content before they actually get into the buying decision. Okay, so what that means is for you guys, and that's a combination of content, okay? Meaning, you know, it's a combination of emails that you're sending them, a combination of of videos that you might potentially send them that educate them on the matter, you know, hybrid of testimonials and things of that nature. 7 hours, YouTube videos, etc. You know, 7 hours total. You know, at that point, you know, after they consume that much, they are what you call a hot, ready buyer. Does that make sense? Someone had a question? I think someone had a question. I'm not sure.
I just let a few in. I'm sure they were muting their mics. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. So, and by the way, if anybody has a question, drop in the chat and we'll make sure we take care of you. No worries there. But yeah, guys, it's as simple as that. So in this case, I would have not turned on that switch because I want them to get all of my emails. So it's a matter of just preparing it one time, just investing maybe 2-3 hours of time to just, you know, build this out. But rest assured that once it's built, it's on autopilot. I mean, it's streamlined, and, you know, your clients are really going to truly appreciate it. Actually, your prospects are the ones that are looking for your solution that you have. And you know, you're just kind of just warming them up to your product or service. Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat, by the way, if that makes sense, because I feel like I'm just going on here. Sam, that's awesome. That makes sense for you. Cool. Stephanie says, hi, I do marketing communications for 501c3 Young Men's Service League. We're going to replace Infusionsoft with Funnelbolt in the early stages of our new chapter expansion process. So that is definitely a good alternative to Confusionsoft, right? For anyone who doesn't know what Confusionsoft is, it's a software that made you know, sending emails feel like you're doing calculus problems, okay? And it's just like completely out of control as far as like it goes beyond the average human brain. Okay. And so what I mean by this is that if you are using Funnelbolt, this is going to be your best friend, because the other solutions out there that exist that do things that are similar to this are just overwhelmingly complicated for absolutely no reason whatsoever, right? When you could just make it super stupid simple like this, and you can execute things in literally less than 10 minutes, and bam, if anything, you're going to get more production out of it because you can actually like clearly see what's happening. And so I personally, don't like Confusionsoft myself. I've never actually used it because of the fact that it's just confusing, just the name alone, right? But yeah, that's a great, awesome alternative, Stephanie, and I can't wait to see how you guys use it in your business. Like, so what do you plan on doing it like to kind of just nurture your current clients, your young men's service league? So, who's your list? Is it young men doing some type of service, or like who's that list that who's your list that you're talking to here, you're communicating with?
We communicate with moms of sons, generally in the beginning of their 8th grade year, because they join as members freshman through senior year.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And so what we're doing is we have 100 chapters in the United States, and every chapter has about 100 members.
Okay.
25 in each age group. And the moms and sons serve together in the community, and we provide a way for them to easily find service opportunities and to record those hours and get credit for them.
Nice.
For us and for their school or whatever. But we are trying to grow. I mean, it's just such a good, it's such a good organization, and it serves so many people, and we're trying to grow it into states where we don't have members. So we have, obviously on our homepage, we have join YMS, or I'm interested in starting a chapter because there's not one in my area. And so that's where we're capturing our contact list. And then we have a variety of steps they go through. Is your son too young or old? Hey, you're perfect. Get on this webinar. Let's talk to you about what we need to do.
And let me get this right, Stephanie. A chapter, in my mind, when I'm hearing you say it, is it sounds like it's like a location? Is that like what it is? Like a chapter is considered like a location of some sort, or is it like a group of people? Like, what would be a chapter? What does that mean?
A chapter would be a group of people in a location.
In the location, okay.
Yeah, so let's say I have multiple chapters in Atlanta, because there's a North Atlanta chapter and an East chapter, So because they serve in a geographic area, the chapters are focused in a geographic area.
Perfect. And so what I see that how you can use this as well, I mean, not just for, personal lead gen and get more people into your chapters, but as well as, notifying them what's happening in the local community. What I would do is probably create a different chapter. So every chapter I would create as a new client in your Funnelbolt account.
Yeah, we communicate with our chapters internally in our volunteer management system.
Okay.
So we don't
really
need internal. Yeah, it's all external before they get into our system.
Perfect. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just like everybody probably on this call, a lot of them are going to be using it for that exact same reason. So essentially, the level of awareness or sophistication about the chapters are probably very little when they're first entering your world. And so they're just curious to understand kind of what, it entails to be a part of one or start one, for example. So
exactly.
Let me ask you this, Stephanie. And by the way, everybody on this call, you should be able to learn from this, because the psychology is very similar across the board for any business that you're in. Okay. So Stephanie, let me ask you this. Where are you attracting these new customers from? Where are they coming from? Are you pulling them from Facebook ads? Are you doing organic? Like where, YouTube? Like where are the people channeling in from to come into your world?
All three of those. It's very organic, usually word of mouth. One mom's a chapter. She knows somebody. She's telling them about what they do. Our member Facebook accounts, our national Facebook account. There are YouTube videos out there, and people find them from time to time. But we funnel them all to external website.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you have any type of, and this is for everybody on this call to understand, right? So you could channel people all day long, and you can attract eyeballs from YouTube, organic, LinkedIn, Facebook. It really doesn't matter, right?
Right.
But the idea that everyone on this call should be thinking about is, how do I turn those eyeballs into information, right? Like an exchange of name, email, and phone number, okay?
Yep.
So that you can actually provide them value, right? Because you can only do so much if they just watch your video one day, and if they never watch you another video again, then that's it for the value that they're going to get, okay? So the idea should be for everyone on this call is like, how do I take the attention from all these different places that I have and convert them into a name, email, and phone number? And the idea is, look, so for example, with Funnelbolt, like the program you guys are in, look at what we're doing. We're doing a free training, right? And so for every new member that comes into our community, what we do is they say, hey, we'll give you access to our free training. You can log right in. You'll be able to watch all the videos. You can replay them. You can take notes. You can take action, whatever you want to do. And in order for them to get in, what do we need from them? Name, email, and phone number, right? And so the exchange of value there for their information is a free training course that they can come in and watch and consume and provide and take action on and get freaking pumped up, and bam, right? So that's how we get their information. Now, another alternative to this could be an ebook. It could be a PDF. It could be a checklist. It could be a free training of some sort. It could be, and Jordan, you want to add to this? Like, it could be anything. It could be even anything. Literally, it could be a T-shirt. If you have like a nonprofit and you got a bunch of, you can spend on that type of stuff, right? Hey, give me your information. I'll send you a T-shirt. You know how many people will give you their information for a free T-shirt? So your business will blow up if you have the right channels and you're throwing hooks in the right channels. And what I mean by hooks is let's say, you're on YouTube, right? Every time you create a new YouTube video and you post it, that's a new hook in the water, right? That has bait at the end of it, which means that at any point in time from now until the future and beyond, any fish can bite that bait and then come in through your pipeline and submit their information in exchange for whatever piece of value that you're going to give them. So in your case, Stephanie, right? Consider, you got to figure out, okay, what are the desires of the people in your chapter, right? What are they looking to get out of it? And then that's what you're going to create as your like exchange. Like, for someone whose level of sophistication is very low on what a chapter is and the benefits of it and, what they can get out of it, create a bundle pack like, hey, here's an intro pack on how to start and do a chapter. This is what you can get out of it. These are the benefits of it. This is what other people have been able to do with it, et cetera, et cetera. Just, here, submit your information here and I'll send it right over instantly. And so that you can build in Funnelbolt, create a landing page, and then in exchange for their name, email, and phone number, right, you're going to send them that program or that, ebook that you can easily go create on Fiverr for $10. And then now it's all sexy with your brand on it and all that cool stuff. And you submit that on autopilot right through Funnelbolt, because you would just trigger it to send out when they come in through your pipeline and submit their name, email, and phone number, trigger that campaign to fire off the second they come in, and bam, they got that. Now, the next step for you would be not to stop there. You're going to call them. Hey, Mary, what's going on? I just saw you got, our program guide on how to start a chapter. Just giving you a call to see if you got it. What'd you think? You start a conversation there, and then you bring them into your world. You can even provide them even more value. Hey, look, I want to hook you up. I want to send you this thing. So you can even get more information on it, whatever, and then you can take that conversation wherever you want, whether you want to book a second call, whether you want to invite them into an event, whether you want to, whatever that sales process is for you. Now you have them on the phone. You can take them wherever you want. And so you're going to be able to do that by giving them value first. So the goal and idea here, guys, everyone listening, value driven. Start with value. People nowadays do not like to be sold. There's too many people selling garbage. Okay, so what you need to do is build trust. And in order to build trust is to provide value. What are we doing, me and Jordan, by just showing up for these calls on a random Wednesday, every Wednesday? We're providing value. I could be doing a lot more. So I could be on the mountains snowboarding. But here I am providing you guys value because I care about helping you guys. And we know that if you win, we win, right? And so that's how we're building trust, you know, and I can guarantee you this, to be completely transparent with you, you know, a percentage of you guys will pay us even more money to work even closer with us. And we do that because, you know, that's what we do. That's what we specialize in, right? So same concept with you guys, value driven. Figure out a way you can provide value first to earn their attention and then guide them to the water. Drop a 1 in the chat. That made sense, guys. And I'm going to stop ranting and start answering questions now. But hopefully that made sense. And hopefully that provides value, because everybody needs to be thinking this way, at least nowadays, especially with all the craziness happening in the world. Like, people just need to feel good about the person that they're working with. That's really what it all comes down to, is they just need to feel good about that individual, because people buy people first before they buy into your product. So, you know, you gotta think about those things are very important. So let's see what other questions that we got. Xavier says, once we set up our Twilio number, for every client we have, we can set an amount to share of our Twilio account.
Yeah. So basically, your limits are going to be right here in your settings. So you can set these limits to whatever. That way they're not like racking up a giant bill on your Twilio account, right? So you can set these limits to whatever you want. So the voicemails are not going to be run through Twilio. The voicemails are run through our system. So you would have to purchase the Bolt packages for those. But nevertheless, you can set limits on each account. So if that makes sense.
And I recommend everybody on this call to incorporate voicemails in their campaigns, because it just adds another layer of touch. It's just another angle, another way of getting in communication with them. And you're not even calling them, it's just leaving them a voicemail. And it can be as simple as, hey, what's going on? We just received your information. My name is Stephanie. I'm super excited to guide you into your chapter. I just sent you that ebook that you submitted your information for. I can't wait to have a conversation with you in a little bit after you've gone through it to get in and hear your feedback. Talk soon.
Yeah, so these are ringless voicemails. Basically, the phone will ring. The phone will ring once.
One time, yeah.
And it'll go directly to their voicemails. And are the voicemails USA only? I'm in the UK. I'm not sure if they work here. To my knowledge, they do work in the UK. We try, and that's our clients need a Twilio number if they're going to use a main. So the
it's 1 o'clock.
It is 1 o'clock. Actually 2 o'clock. Where I'm at.
It's 12 o'clock here.
The system that we use, and part of the reason why we are using it, we have things set up the way that they are set up right now, is because it has the broadest reach, if that makes sense. So Twilio is accepted pretty much everywhere. The system that we use for voicemails is accepted pretty much everywhere. There are a few legal loopholes depending on where you're, not loopholes, legal hoops we have to jump through depending on where you're from. Some countries require specific documentation, but we have things set up to where it shouldn't be a problem. And like I said, sometimes it takes 24 to 36 hours to get that stuff coming in. And so the way to answer your question again, Xavier, and I'm coming back to you because this is all relative to Twilio. You can set them up however you want. So if you want to set them up on your Twilio account, you can set up these clients on your Twilio account. If you don't want to set them up on your Twilio account, you don't have to. They can have their own Twilio account. So if you want that default account, so if you want this default account, which is your main account, to like that Twilio account to be applied to everyone underneath, you can do that. So whatever account you have selected in your default account, whichever Twilio account you have set in your default account will run for every account underneath it, unless you specifically go into the next account and you change that. So it goes either way. What's a booking system? That was the next question we had. Is Funnelbolt going to have a booking system? Short answer, yes. When is that going to happen? I don't know. We have to test it, and it takes a lot to do that. What I can tell you is I have seen it. So we're like this close. How it's going to integrate with Funnelbolt, I don't know all of the details to that yet. The way that we have it, I don't want to give too much because I don't want to set a false expectation. We will have one. It will work with Funnelbolt. How exactly it's going to work with Funnelbolt, I don't know all the specific details of that yet. Is that fair? I hope it's fair. Would you recommend using Funnelbolt when cold emailing B2B? So my answer to this is going to be use it with caution. Angel's answer to this is going to be don't use it. So can you use it? Yes. But
is it the most effective way? No.
Right. Yes. Correct. So yes and no. How you would use it for cold emailing, and I'm telling you this because I've used it for cold emailing and I have picked up clients using this. Now, is it as effective? Like Angel said, absolutely not.
Let me explain real quick why it isn't, just so that everybody knows. Like,
while you're explaining, I'm gonna go through how I would do it.
Okay.
So watch the screen and listen to Angel at the same time.
So the reason why you want to use something a little bit more specialized for cold emailing is because you want to have all those tracking metrics in place so that you know, okay, what's my open rate? What's my reply rate? You know, who's opened it but hasn't responded, for example. Like, I mean, you can see that at a high level in Funnelbolt, but it's not analytical like certain softwares that put things into percentages and metrics and things like that nature. So, you know, definitely for like Jordan said, you can use it, but I would recommend, you know, other tools that are a little bit more specialized towards, you know, cold emailing, only because you want to get the best output, right? You want to be able to, you know, refine, improve, and, you know, what isn't measured can't be improved. So it's just, you know, for that type of process, especially, you know, you definitely want to have your tracking dialed in, because that's what's going to give you the data to know what to improve or what's working, and things of that nature. So that's my answer to it. But yeah, definitely, I mean, you could give it a shot, but I would be very cautious, like Jordan said, and start very, very slow so that you can at least kind of like manage the pulse of like whether it's working or not. And that would be the short answer to your question.
Yeah. And something else to add to that is when you are running this through a client account, honestly, probably what I would do is I would just set up a new account, set up a new client account, and I would just run your cold emails through it. And that way your SMTP, like your domain reputation, is only tied to that one account. So
well, what I would do, I would have 2 SMTP accounts. Okay. So, and the reason for that is because the way an SMTP works, it's a server, right? So with Google, you're using Google server. With an SMTP, you're using an SMTP server as the alternative to Google. Now, when you're cold emailing, if you're not cold emailing the right way, the chances of you going into spam, into a promotions tab are very, very high. Because if you don't know what you don't know and you don't know what you're doing, you know, it's going to be considered a lot of the times 9 out of 10 as spam in the Google's algorithm. Okay, words can trigger it. The subject line can trigger it. Not having a opt-out line can trigger it. Not having the proper signature can trigger it, for example. So the reason I would separate the two, if you're going to use Funnelbolt for cold emailing, because when you're talking about reputation score, that is the goal that you're focused on keeping very high. Like it's all about reputation with cold emailing or emailing in general. So if you're wanting to land in the inbox of your recipient, you have to have a high reputation score in Google's eyes or trust, okay? And when you're cold emailing, every single time an email bounces, goes into spam or goes into promotion, you get a strike on your reputation score. Now, if you're using one SMTP account for all of your clients, okay, if even just one account bombs it, okay, it affects every account underneath that SMTP, okay? So if you're going to do it for cold emailing, have an SMTP specific for cold emailing and a separate SMTP account specifically for nurturing and follow up of the leads and the campaigns that you're doing. Does that make sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if that made sense. If not, drop any questions that you have, because I want to make sure you guys are clear, because in SMTP, you have to understand how that works, to make sure that you're set up for success so you don't shoot yourself in the foot and one account causes all of your other client accounts to literally land in the spam box after that. So that's what you want to avoid. Keep it separate if you're wanting to use Funnelbolt for this.
Yep. So the next, Victor is a realtor. Awesome.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, Victor.
And yeah, Victor, if you have any questions about how to use the system or
on this, and by the way, Victor,
yeah,
this program for you, buddy, is going to be game changing, because your sales cycle is this long.
Yep.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Victor. What do you plan on using this Funnelbolt system for?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What I'm trying to do is my business is growing faster than I can handle, and there's a lot of follow-ups that I need to take, and there's a lot of it is repetitive. And so what I'm trying to do is create pretty much use a tool like yours that can help me to follow up, provide certain content, and provide ways to engage. One, interrupt the prospect, engage a prospect, offer some education, and then prepare them for either some kind of action, whether it's a face-to-face conversation or some kind of action. And so I'm just trying to use this because I realize there are lots of repetitive activities that I'm trying to automate.
Perfect. And so talk to me about what part of your sales process are you specifically talking about? Is it from a new client to, from a stranger to a new client? Is that what's right now growing very fast? Or is it your new client base converting them into your sales process? Where is your repetition coming from?
I'd say my repetition is leads. My clients are happy with my service. I'm getting good leads. And then the leads are probably coming in faster than I can handle. And I just simply need to do some follow-up after I meet the lead. I can do the snail mail, write them a card, nice meeting you. But I just need to create a process where, Angel referred you to me. Thank you so much. Here's some things I'd like to learn about you, and let's get on a call. Or
perfect.
Things like that.
Let me ask you this, Victor. Where are these leads? So back to what I was saying earlier in this call. Are these leads? So, but what are they exchanging their information for? How do you get their information on your end?
What it is pretty much is a happy client is giving me referrals. Every client I get that is happy, I ask them for referrals, and they give those to me, and I'll follow up. Or some will just call me and say, "Hey,
gotcha.
Jordan,
okay,
these are your service."
So here's 2 ways you could do it.
Okay.
You can streamline it. Okay, and hear me out. Based on the level of effort and the technical background that you have, you can do one probably easier than the other. First option is set up some type of Google form specifically to send to your agents that are happy with your results, so that they can fill it out with the information of the referee that they're sending you.
Okay.
Right? So now that's going to be submitted in a Google form, okay, which would then put that date on a Google sheet, right, in the account. and then you can zap. Okay, that means you can trigger when a new line item appears in this Google Sheet, take that information and drop it into Funnelbolt.
Okay.
Got it? So now when that happens, when you trigger that to drop into, let's say, lead in, for example, on the pipeline that you see on the screen, when I trigger a new contact to fall into that pipeline stage, I want the campaign to send out this email and this text message.
Okay.
And the beauty of this, Victor, is that you'll be able to actually even personalize the messages that you send, because the agent referring you, the client, is filling out the form with the proper information. So you're going to have first name, last name, email, phone number, and then you can use those as custom fields in your messaging sequences. So it'll sound very personalized, as if you had your phone out and you physically sent them a text message saying, "Hey, Mary, thank you so much for, Johnny Doe referred me to you, or referred you to me, looking for, and I know you're looking for X and Y, Z thing. Just wondering when would be a good time to jump on a quick call to talk about those things." I'm not exactly sure what your sales pipeline pitch is. I would have to dive deeper into that to give you a better script. But
you're doing great. You're doing good.
That would be the idea. And so, all of a sudden now, Victor, you'll have your refers, so your different strategic partners that you have, submitting these forms, and then automatically you're going, they're going to be in your referral campaign. That would be kind of the name that you would title it. And then you would, build that pipeline the way that you want to, based on what you want to send them at what point in your sales process. So, the initial engagement should be to just get them probably on a call with you. And then once you get them on a call and you go through your stuff and you qualify them and you make sure they're a good fit, then you can have another deal stage where you can, after the call, manually just drag and drop them over to the next deal stage to send them, "Hey, thank you so much, Victor, for the call today. Pleasure meeting you today. I can't wait to help you." And that's all automated. And so the only manual labor that you'd be doing is after you actually get on a call with them, that drag and drop from one pipeline stage to the other.
Okay. Right now, thanks for sharing that. That's very, very helpful. I have a question before. You're talking about the SNTP process. Right now, my email services with Microsoft. So you're saying that I should not use Microsoft. That's my primary email. Try to get a separate, you're saying?
Yeah, so you gotta think that the SMTP server, all it is a server.
Right.
Okay, Microsoft is the vehicle that you have your account on that is sending the emails, but the server, Microsoft has its own server. So what you have to figure out is if you can integrate an SMTP with your Microsoft email so you can use it for this campaign.
Okay,
because it's just using an alternative server versus either the Google server or the Microsoft server.
Okay, so I can keep my one Office 365 email account, but I just have to use different SM. See, I'm not a technical person, so.
Yeah. What I would suggest, to be honest with you, is I would keep your personal business email personal, like the one that you've been using, keep it separate, and create a separate one for client communication.
Okay.
Makes sense? And then you can simply, if you just want to make things super simple and not have to, overcomplicate yourself, because Microsoft, is Microsoft and they're special in certain ways. So if you just create a Google domain or Google G Suite account, Victor at, or, info at, or whatever communications email at yourbusiness.com, then it'd be just 10 times easier to integrate your SMTP server. And we go over how to do that in the free training that we have in the
You mentioned earlier that you initially, when you initiated your program, you had more of a turnkey, ready to go product, and then you kind of broke it down so that it could be less expensive. Do you still have that option, whereas you have that ready to go option? Because for someone like myself, I'm really not a tech person, and having those different add-ons, the Twilio and so forth, creates more barriers to entry to get them started. Mm-hmm. And that can be, for someone who's not a tech person like you, that can be sometime, it may delay the process for me getting started.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. If you'd like, Victor, either PM me after this call to myself or Jordan, and we'll figure out what we can coordinate with you to try to get you up and running quickly, okay?
Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah. Awesome. Let's see what else we got in the pipe. So we got in the email sequence, if we are giving away an ebook or something digital, how can we attach it to that first email sequence? Jordan, you want to answer that?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways to do that. What we do not have is what is called like a digital asset server, to where like basically you would take a PDF and they would click a button and it would download to their hard drive. We don't have a digital asset server, but there are ways around that. So basically what you could do is in the case of an ebook anymore means so many different things. It can be just an email that is in, looks like a book, or you could put that into like a Google Doc, which is what I would recommend, putting that into a Google Doc so it maintains like its form and shape, and it's easy to share, and they don't have to get stored on their computer and all that kind of stuff. So let me go in here and show you how I would do that. So with your email here, obviously you can name the subject whatever you want, but with anytime you want to place a link in here, so highlight that and then link, and then you can assign the link right here. So here, in the case of like a Google Doc, or even with some ebooks, I'm sure that you can put them on a digital asset server somewhere. If you wanted to do that, you would just place that URL right here. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. There's also, like, if you want to get into like source code and HTML, you can do that as well.
You can just easily also just go on Google Docs, if your thing is a Google Doc, and just create a share link that they can copy, right? And so just paste that link in there that they can copy,
right?
And then they get the email, they click it, and then bam, they got the deliverable right there and then. And they're getting that from Google Docs, and that's free. Right. I would just do that for now.
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do, and that would be my.
And I would also even sexify the link a bit, and by either creating a custom URL for that really long Google Docs share link, because that link is ugly. And so if the name of your deliverable is, real estate mastery, for example, put that in the Google Doc, click share, right? Click anybody, share with anybody, copy that link, okay? And then that's going to give you a really long link that has a bunch of jibber jabber at the end of it. What you want to look for is the slash that says like share at the end. Erase everything after that slash and just type the word copy. That's your link. And then you take that link and you put it into something like Bitly or something that's a link shortener, and you can then name your link Real Estate Mastery. Yeah. It'll be like bit.ly.real estate mastery. And then when they click on that, it's really clicking on that Google Doc link, and then they get the deliverable right in their account.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to see how many people are clicking through that link as well if you do it that way.
That too, yeah. So that's the other thing too that's a benefit, like Jordan said.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see what the pulse is, if it's working, or people even clicking on your link, or your emails actually being clicked on. And you could do that by tracking that deliverable link or your ebook link with something like Bitly. And Bitly is free, by the way. So everything I'm saying is free. Like, there's no charge to doing what I'm saying right now.
Stephanie, you were asking about the landing pages. What specifically would you like to know with the landing pages?
So if I build a landing page, and that landing page is take somebody to a form, is the landing page hosted? Do you host the landing page and I just link to Funnelbolt, this address, or do I copy the HTML code, does that landing page then host as a subdomain to
Gotcha.
mine?
So either or. So if you want to have your own domain, stephanieswebsite.com or something like that, you can do that. All you need to do is point the A record to our server.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can get up here. So you click this little thing that looks like a globe, hit domain, and it's going to ask you, do you have a domain that you want to show the landing pages? If
I hadn't gotten that. Yeah, I hadn't gotten that far. Good.
If yes, you basically go into your DNS settings and you assign the A record to that IP.
Okay.
If you don't want to buy a domain, just hit no, and it's going to be, whatever at funnelbolt.com.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be up like that. All of these sites will come with an SSL certificate, so that it'll be a secure site.
Mm-hmm.
The only time we have had issues, because our server is going to try and apply that security tag to it, is if you also have your site registered on like Cloudflare or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be able to secure it twice. So if you already have a secure site in Cloudflare, you basically have to like disable it in Cloudflare so that our system can enable it. So that's just kind of a technical thing, but either way, you can do whatever you want. And to answer your question about the forms, basically what you need to do, and this is pretty simple. You can use a template,
Mm-hmm.
or you can start with sections. So this landing page builder is not 100% custom. So the way that this was designed was to quickly be able to get a landing page up and collect information. That's what it was designed for.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to, you can do full websites on here, but I'm just saying, like, you'll probably get frustrated. But it is possible. So this little icon right here, this mail icon, is going to be above any section that has a form in it. And you would click right here. And of course, it's not going to do it while I'm on the phone. Here we go. So here's our settings. And if I want to add, so we've got an email address, and I want to add a phone number, I'm just going to drop it in here. And then say we want a message. So there's our form. I'm going to go to the settings here on the right, form settings. And this is where I have, in order for this to submit, I have to have a campaign assigned, or else the system doesn't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So assuming you have a campaign already created, which we kind of already went over that, you just hit the campaign ID. So we're going to send this to, which I wouldn't do this, but we'll just select 90-day nurture because that's what I hit. And we're going to send this to the nurture deal stage. Hit apply and then hit save. And anytime you have someone that completes this form, it is now going to start the 90-day nurture campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to send their contact to the nurture deal stage. And that's how it works. And if you want to redirect them, which I would, it depends on if you're advertising or not, and how the traffic is coming in. But if you want to send them to like a confirmation page, you would just add another page, and we'll call this like, thank you. Has to be one word. Thank you. And we will start with something else. It's in, and we'll say thanks for registering. And the URL is right up here in the top left. So that's going to be your .com/new_page.html. So what we would do then is go to this page. We're going to copy that URL. We're going to go back in here to our form settings, and on the redirect URL, we're going to have it send to that URL. So as soon as they hit submit, it's going to send them to the next page.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that works. And then if you are advertising, so if you're running ads on Facebook or Google or whatever, and you want to set up conversion tags, just hit this SEO button, and you can insert your meta descriptions, the keywords, and your header is where you're going to insert those tags. So if you're using like Tag Manager or a Facebook pixel or anything like that, you can pop those scripts in right here, and it'll track all of that. So
real quick, Stephanie, that's not necessarily going to be needed unless you're running ads. That would be more for tracking the ads. So don't get boggled down over that technical stuff unless you're like going to physically like run traffic where you're paying money to bring people to your page. But ultimately, if at any point in the near future you plan on like supplying or running ads to this type of campaign, which ideally that's the idea that you want to do. Once you've dialed it all in and it's working, like you should be able to get a good production or output out of spending money to bring more people through your sales process, right? So at that point, you really want to have those pixels or the data tracking information on your website so that you can leverage that for your campaigns when you're actually paying money. So besides that, everything else is, pretty simple. And usually your ad guy, if you're going to hire this out because you're not going to do it yourself or you're going to bring a tech guy in, they'll usually figure this out and they'll know how to do all this stuff for you. So I wouldn't even get too boggled down about that.
Somebody may do that.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, there's a lot of people. This can be really, really technical when it comes to that type of stuff. But, the basics is just what Jordan went through, which is just the basic landing page. Everyone on this call can do that. It's just a matter of just doing it one or twice and then you can get the flow going.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as the landing page builder goes, basically just kind of go through here and look for kind of the general layout of what you're looking for and pull those in. And then you can change everything once you get in. So, this would be an iframe setting. So if I manipulate this, it's going to change that, and just kind of click to edit sort of stuff. So we tried to make it super simple. And of course, when you make things super simple, you lose a few technical features. So, but that's basically how the landing page builder works. So
thank you.
And as far as it integrating with WordPress, I guess it depends on how integrated you mean. You can publish these and you can export the project. So if you build a page in here and you want to export the page, you can do that. What we have coming, and I guess cat's out of the bag on this, so I can show you guys how this works. And it's not completely done yet, but we don't know what we're going to call it. But the form builder would integrate with WordPress, and basically you're going to be able to select a template form. So we only have a few in here, but you would select the form. So I'm going to pick this one and manipulate this however you want, change the form however you want. And then you're going to tell it what campaign to start, which again, you would build the campaign within Funnelbolt. And then it's going to give you an embed code that you can put wherever you want. So this would be like a form that would show up mid-screen, a form that'll show up like bottom right, and then like a full page form. So this is what we have coming. I mean, it's pretty much done, but there's a few details that, I mean, obviously the UI is not perfect yet. There's a lot of changes we need to make, but you get the idea. So this would be something that if you do have a WordPress site or a blog or whatever, and you still want to utilize Funnelbolt without using our landing pages, this would be a good way to do that. So I hope that answers your question, Virgil. So and future integrations will also be covered, or shall we pay an extra fee? Yes and no for both. So this is something we want as many people as possible to be using our system. The reason why we're adding this form builder is because it doesn't lock you into using our landing pages or Zapier. You can just put these wherever you want and execute the campaigns. So
it's as simple as taking a website you've had for a really long time and you really want to get more production out of your pipeline. So it's as simple as just creating the form here, taking the embed code, dropping it in your website builder, because you might just replace the current like form it's on that you already have on the website with this one. That way that the second they opt in to whatever it is that you're delivering, it automatically imports them into Funnelbolt, and you don't have to do any extra triggers or Zapiers or any of those things because it's already integrated with Funnelbolt. And then bam, you just, obviously set the campaign up in Funnelbolt before all that happens, so that when somebody does submit their information, it triggers exactly what you want for them to get, whether it's an email, a ringless voicemail, or a text message, or a combination of the three, which is what we recommend. You want that to be set up before actually, integrating the form and sending it live publicly.
Yeah. So that, and then we also have built, and I'm trying to figure out visually how this is going to work with this builder. But we also have like a survey funnel where it's basically going to qualify your leads. So it's like, okay, if they answer this, then send them here, like that sort of thing. We had it.
Yeah, Stephanie actually had a question about that there. She asked,
oh yeah. Yes.
And then if a customer answers yes, you send one email. If the customer answers no, you do another.
Yeah. So that the way that we had that built, it was built and functioning, and then we realized that we had to update our code base because we had too many users. So there were a few technical things that we are doing in the background to bring that in here, and how and when we're going to do it. It just depends on funds, to be quite honest. We have self-funded like this entire thing out of our own businesses. So like if things take longer than normal, it's because like we're funding it and we don't need this. So like we're doing it as we can. But the survey funnel thing that we had set up could get as complex as you wanted it to get. And you could send like different campaigns, send them wherever you want. And it's a big thing. So we have it, we just need to make a few changes, and whether or not we're going to bring it into this or have it as an add-on and completely separate, I'm not exactly sure. And quite honestly, I might even ask you guys, like, what's the best thing? I may like ask for volunteers to kind of test it and give me an idea. So with that, like to answer your question on, is this included in what I paid or not? Some of it is going to be included, yes. We want to get this in as many hands as possible. Some things like the calendar and all that kind of stuff, development costs are really expensive, and we may ask for either a one-time payment or something like that to have it added to your system, or, I don't know. We haven't figured that out. I'm being 100% transparent with you. I don't know how we're going to do it. We have to make sure that it makes sense for us too, because when we give away the farm, it does cost us to do things. So I'm just being completely transparent with you. And any other questions? we're 6 minutes over. But we have 14 people here, which is awesome. Last week, how many we have, Angel? 5 or 6. So I'm glad.
If you guys found this valuable, drop a 1 in the chat down below, because we truly, me and Jordan do this. We have a ton of stuff that we're already working on, and like for us to just be here, it does take a lot of our time to dedicate, because these calls aren't easy, right? We're literally like critically thinking to help you here. We're not just like we don't have like template answers that we could just like, yeah, and I sound like a robot here, like the same answer when everyone asks that specific question. So this is something that we do because we truly care about every single one of you, and most importantly, we care about your feedback. Right, your feedback is important to us because this is how we're able to help improve the system. Like hearing individuals like Stephanie and sharing how you're going to be using the system and how we can help and things like that. Like that's important to us because that gives us an idea on how we can improve the system to better kind of fit the needs of our user base. And the more feedback we get, the better idea, because the idea is we don't want to assume. We do not want to assume. We use it for our own business, and as it is, it's good enough for what we use it for, right? But we're getting a lot of use cases. We're getting like, hey, I want to do this with this, and I want to do that with that. And it's like, to be completely transparent, like we weren't expecting it to like blow up like it has. And not only that, but it's blown up all around the world. And on top of that, every place in the world has like different business models that they're using this for. And we've heard it all. Like we have been like, Jesus, like the last thing in my mind was that someone was going to use a system for that specific thing that guy just mentioned. And me and Jordan, sometimes we're just like, man, but that's actually a pretty cool idea, right. And it's like, it's so crazy how cool it is when you have people all kind of with the same vision, all just kind of working together, because it's power in the people, right? I mean, working together, the teamwork makes dream work. We consider you guys as almost part of our team, because like Jordan said, we're not a huge, massive, multi-billion-dollar company that has a bunch of investors with tight pants on in the background, telling us what to do and what to spend money on. Okay, this is self-funded. So meaning this is sweat equity that you're seeing in Funnelball, right? And, it's been a grind. It's been a lot of labor and a lot of dedication on our end, and a lot of stress and losing of sleep. And, even just this program that Jordan has pulled up on the screen, that's our official Funnelbolt Boost Academy accelerator training that we've come out with. And that alone, this training, me, Jordan, and Zach have gone in. Like when I say we've gone in, like we thought that we were kind of like, but the idea is that when we started doing it, like we realized like we might as well just drop it all in there, because like, why not? If we're going to do it, just go full in, all in, and provide so much freaking value that they don't even know what they just purchased. Right. And the idea was that, this was going to be something that if you're in a place in your life where you may not be as motivated as you want to be, or you're just not confident, or maybe you just don't have that guidance or that light at the end of the tunnel or that clarity, right? We wanted to build this training for you guys, kind of start changing the way you think, trying to, start thinking differently and look at the future as, it's brighter than, what you think it is right now. And the idea is that there's abundance everywhere. It's just a matter of how you're framing it. And so this training that we've done is literally going to be game changing for a lot of you, because, this is coming from our personal experience. We're not giving you fluff. We're giving you specific strategies that we have done, implemented, and had success with in our training. So if you guys haven't considered it or looked into what I'm talking about, Jordan, you can drop the link in the chat below just so people can look into it. But the idea is, if you believe that you need like an accelerated path to kind of just getting that clarity on, systems, prospecting, thought processes, psychology of your avatar, you're creating your offer and crafting it, how to pitch it, how to sell it, how to position it, how to wrap it up in a bundle and make it with a sexy name and give somebody massive value with it, right? if these are things that you have kind of been kind of just like relying on YouTube University for, right? This is the fast path. Remove all that. And inside of this, you're going to be not only linked with, you know, high level individuals that are also in the program, that meet every, you know, that we meet on Fridays for our live trainings. But they're also in a Facebook group that is separate to the ones you guys are in. Okay. So, you know, this is the idea. We want to kind of really help those who need that extra guidance, by, you know, providing them with this program. And the way we've built it is it's rolled out week by week. So this week, you know, we rolled out week 2. So we're right now in week 2 of the training, and every single week. So it's retailing, after we complete it at $1,997. So essentially $2,000, but you're covering every aspect of business, including like hiring, prospecting, sales. I mean, the whole 9. You're not going to need really anything else. You'd be able to take massive action as soon as you go through it. And the idea is to go through the things that you need right now, right? So if you're having an issue with prospecting, guess what? The idea would be to go through the prospecting modules so you can get your brain pumping with, you know, prospecting, because you shouldn't be focusing on fulfillment or sales if you don't have anyone to talk to, right? So figuring out what you're struggling with first, and then diving into those specific modules second, okay? And we are going to be, because we're rolling it out week by week, since it's not completely done, the way we've rolled it out is we've given people an incentive to jump in at a very discounted rate. And we've been increasing the price every week, because as we increase the, you know, as every week passes, there's more value inside the course. And so we're just incentivizing those who believe in us and, you know, believe in our systems and like these calls and think that these calls are massive and valuable to their business. We're giving them a massive incentive to jump in before we charge the retail of $19.97, which people are going to be paying for every day of the week for the exact same stuff that you can get for a massive discount right now. So that's basically it. The link is in the chat. If you want to just look into it, there's another training also in there that kind of walks you through what we're covering inside of that link that Jordan just posted. And then the other thing is, if you need to jump on a call with either me, Jordan, or Zach to talk about our program, we're totally cool with it. We can jump on a call and talk about what your needs are, what you're struggling with, and to see if it actually makes sense for you to jump in.
There's a link on that page with the
book a call, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So if you want, just look into the link, watch the video, go through the landing page, look at the content, look at what's being covered inside the training. And then if needed, you can book a call through that link, or you can even just purchase right away, and jump right in and actually start consuming weeks 1 content and weeks 2 content. So you'd be able to just jump right in right now and instantly start consuming weeks 1 and 2, because that's where we're at. And then this Friday, so today's Wednesday, 2 days from now would be weeks 2 Q&A hot seat live. And that's when me, Zach, and Jordan show up in a call like this, but with the members of the Boost Accelerator, okay? Where basically we're answering questions on the topics that were covered in that week. So we'd start off with, all right, what questions do we have about cold calling, right? Because that's the first module of week 2. And then we go on and so on and so forth. So it's a really constructive.
Sam's been in here. So Sam is in there. Sam, if you want to
unmute yourself and talk a little bit about what your experience has been so far inside of the Boost Accelerator.
Oh, I mean, I absolutely love it. You know, I had done a lot of the YouTube University, and so I had all this information like kind of out here. So this really kind of takes things that either I already knew or didn't know and learning, and puts it, you know, into a streamline that's starting to make sense. So I pretty much stopped doing everything that I was thinking about doing beforehand, and I'm going to go through all of this and kind of just make sure that whatever I had planned to do was going to be either right or better, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know, so the Q&A, that was great. I mean, that was excellent. And I already did week 2. I'm glad that was a real quick one. It wasn't too overcomplicated and long.
You get to go through the cold calling module yet, Sam?
I went through them all.
Including the cold calling one?
I went through week 1 and week 2.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
We had a hard
just
time.
take notes, you know, the lead magnet, the appointment setting. So I've already started to, you know, for some questions for Friday, and I'm loving it. I'm glad I got it.
Awesome, man. Heck yeah. That's what you call an action taker right there. So, you know, we're pumped up. The beauty of this program is the more people in it, the more really value that can be given out, because, you know, like think about Stephanie's questions and think about Sam's questions and Victor's questions. I mean, they're different questions for different industries, but at the same time, if you just apply the principles of, you know, the actual like answer to the question into your business, and it can easily apply to you as well. So that's the idea, right? You learn from each other. You might not be in the same industry, but the frameworks and fundamentals are pretty similar across the board. And that's the beauty of business, that once you understand it, you're able to really just dive into any business and impact it massively. And so, you know, that's why we're excited about this. That's why we built this training. And, you know, the idea is so that you guys, like Sam said, rather than spending tons of hours on YouTube University and just absorbing a bunch of stuff where you don't even know where the backgrounds of these people or what they've done or their expertise or any of these things, you know, that's the problem. And so you don't know what you don't know. And so you don't know what to believe or what not to believe and what to take action or what to take seriously or what not to, you know, what to ignore. So this is why we did it. We're freaking pumped up for you guys that have jumped in. And yeah, we're excited to keep moving forward. We launched week 2 this week. We're still having issues with one of the videos in week 2. So Sam, you still have one more video to watch. And that's the Facebook group video that hasn't been able to upload yet. But you should probably get that by the end of today. It should be in there, hopefully. So, you know, you can consume that, but we're excited to keep pumping this. And, yeah, we can't wait to see you guys start getting a ton of results from all of this stuff when you integrate into your business. And we're here to help with anything that you guys need. So feel free to reach out to me, Jordan or Zach, with any questions or either post in the group. But yeah, this has been another great live. I appreciate you, Sam and Stephanie and Victor and everybody on this call. Thank you for participating. And once again, we do this every Wednesday at 1:30 Mountain Time, 3:30 EST. And
Opposite.
you know, we'll see you guys on that next call on next Wednesday.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take it easy, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.